Welcome back. In the last couple of videos, we understood how the process of boosting works, and we also saw an algorithm, gradient boosting machines, which works on correcting the errors of the previous model by building new models on the errors. Now, here's another algorithm that uses the boosting technique, which is the adaptive boosting algorithm, and it's more commonly known as AdaBoost. In case of AdaBoost algorithm, higher weights are assigned to the points which are misclassified or incorrectly predicted by the previous models, which means that each successive model will get a weighted input. So let's understand how this is done using a simple example. Say this is my complete data where I have two classes, the blue positives and the red negatives. Now the first step is to build a model to classify these points. Suppose the first model gives us the following results, where it is able to classify the two blue points on the left correctly and all the red negatives correctly, but it has misclassified the three blue points here. Now these misclassified points will be given a higher weight. So these three plus points in our example will be given a higher weight in the next iteration. For representation, we have increased the size of the points with the higher weights. So you can see that these plus signs are bigger than the other two. Now giving a higher weight to these points means that my next model is going to focus more on these values. So the next step, as you must have guessed, is build a next model on this data. So the focus of this new model is to classify these three blue points correctly, which have the higher weight. And as you can see, the model boundary has shifted to the right to classify these higher weighted blue points correctly. But still, it's not a perfect model. So if you notice, these three red minus points are misclassified by model 2. So now these 3 points will get a higher weight. And we need to repeat the step 2 and 3, which means giving a higher weight to the misclassified points and training another model on the new data. So in our example, we had misclassified 3 red points. So these points are getting a higher weight now. As you can see, a bigger size of these points. Now we build the next model over it, which is here model 3. And the task of this model was to focus on these 3 red minus points which were misclassified. So the decision boundary would be something as shown here. Again, you can notice that model 3 is trying to classify these points correctly. And again, this model has made some incorrect predictions. For the 4 points, these 3 plus in the negative side and the minus here. So we can see that these individual models are not strong enough to classify the points correctly and are often called weak learners. Any guesses what should be our next step? Well, we have to aggregate these models, and one of the way could be to take a weighted average of individual weak learners. The final model will be the weighted mean of individual models. So after multiple iterations, we will finally be able to create the right decision boundary by taking help from all these weak learners here. And as you can see that the final model is able to classify all the points correctly. This final model here is known as our strong learner. Now that we have understood the working of AdaBoost, let's open up our notebook and implement this algorithm. We'll be using the Titanic dataset for the implementation. We'll start with importing the required libraries. We have pandas and numpy here. Then we load the dataset using the pandas pd.read_csv function. And here are the first few rows. So as you can see, we have the clean version of Titanic dataset again, and you must be familiar with this dataset by now. And these are the common steps that we use in every notebook. So I'll quickly go through them. We separate the dependent and the independent variables. So we store the features in X and the target variable in Y. Then we use the train test split from sklearn model selection to create a train subset and a test subset from the complete data. So here we use the train test split. We give the input X and Y for a random state, say 101 here, and we use stratify is equals to Y. As you would know, stratify basically makes sure that the distribution of the classes in train and test remain the same. So if you have, say, 60% of class 1 and 40% of class 0 in train, then you would have the same distribution, that 60% of 1 and 40% of 0 in test. So we'll run this cell. It will give us 4 outputs: train X, test X, train Y, and test Y. Now we import the AdaBoost classifier from sklearn.ensemble. And here we create an instance of the AdaBoost classifier. We have set a random state value to 96, and if you use the same random state value, you'd be able to generate the same results. Then we use the train X and train Y to train our model. So our model was CLF. We use CLF.fit to train the model, and finally use CLF.score to calculate the score. Here we determine the score on training data, so we have train X and train Y, and the score comes out to be 0.841. We do the same for test data, and in this case we get the score to be 0.798. Now in the next section we'll have a quick review of the hyperparameters of AdaBoost algorithm. So as you must be familiar with the term hyperparameters by now, we have seen the hyperparameters of other algorithms like the random forest and GBM. So hyperparameters are the values that we need to give the model before we start the modeling process or before we start the training process. And when we do not give the values, there are some default values set for these hyperparameters. So we have 4 important hyperparameters in case of AdaBoost. We have the base estimator, which is by default set to be decision trees. So right now, when I trained the model, the base estimator was decision trees. So multiple decision trees were built sequentially, each working on the errors of the previous model. We can change these base estimators, and we'll see an example by the random forest. Then the next hyperparameter is n estimators. We have seen the same in case of random forest as well. This is basically the number of models we want to build, and this can be used as a stopping criteria in the AdaBoost algorithm. The next hyperparameter is the learning rate, which shrinks the contribution of each classifier, which was decision tree in our case, by the given value. So the default value here is 1.0. And another hyperparameter is random state, which is used to generate the same results every time. So we fix a random state value. Now just to play around with the hyperparameters here, I am going to change the base estimator, which was decision tree, to random forest. So I import the random forest classifier from sklearn library. And in this case, I have set the base estimator is equal to random forest classifier. Then I've set the n estimator value to be 100, which means we'll be building 100 random forests, and the learning rate is reduced to 0.01. Now when I run this cell, so this is my new CLF model, which has a base estimator of random forest and 100 n estimators. So now we train the model using the same train X and train Y that we generated using the train test split previously. And here we have trained the model. So these are my updated hyperparameters. It also shows us the hyperparameters for random forest classifier, which I have not changed in this case. And then we calculate the score on test data, which is now 0.748. So that was a simple example of how you can implement the AdaBoost algorithm. Thank you.